Oh, hey, girl. So, some of you eagle-eyed viewers might have noticed that it's been roughly 11 billion Sundays since I released Tatten Chapter 5, and by now you might be thinking, hello, where's the thumbnail for Chapter 6? Well, it's currently like 85% done, but that's less of the problem than the chapter itself, which is currently maybe 65% of the way done. So, can you say otro capítulo tarde? Muy bien! When it comes to why this chapter is late, well, there's a few reasons. Not the least of which is that in picking a location, I failed to do thorough enough research and picked not only a country, but a region currently in the midst of a civil war. Yeah, kinda wanted to change that. So I picked a new location, and while most of the story beats stayed consistent, the challenges had to be reworked in order to better show off this new area's history and culture. Ugh, man. The civil war that broke out 10,000 miles away due to an entire group of people being denied their rights is just really gumming up my works. As I may or may not have said earlier, Dynasty the novel is not cancelled. I mean, why would it be? It might be time-consuming to write, but at least I know for sure when it'll end, and I'm already over a third of the way there. Having said that, considering out of the remaining, 9 chapters, only 4 of them even have outlines done, I'm just gonna say that the remaining chunk of the novel isn't getting released until shortly after Valentine's Day. Or, failing that, at least the next 3 to 5 chapters will be released starting then. Speaking of the future, let's talk about part of the reason why these chapters are taking so long: my own indecisiveness. The root cause of the issue is that I have a large number of projects that I really want to work on, but narrowing down which to focus on first is a challenge. At the end of the day, my upcoming New Year's resolution is to get more involved in making YouTube content that people would actually watch. And, brilliant idea, why don't I ask the people what they want? So yeah, for this video, I'm going to detail some of the project ideas I've been ironing out as of late. And at the end, I want your guys' feedback on which project you want to see most. Prepare for a bit of Object Show E3! First up, Town Attack the novel. This is less of a choice and more of a statement, but I've had a few people mention how they're interested in reading it, but they also hate reading. At Silver Mareep. In response to that, I'm planning to release dramatic readings of each chapter on YouTube, possibly with some additional artwork if I have the patience to actually make any. This will most likely be released monthly, both to increase excitement about the new chapters once these dramatic readings are finished, and to be sure I'm releasing things in the time between this video and whatever project comes next. Dunno, seems like a good idea to make the book even more accessible. Speaking of retreading old ground, one issue that I've been facing with YouTube is that it won't let me monetize my channel. Apparently, uploading identical videos as one of your friends' channels is deemed unethical. Well, fear not, for I've come up with a possible solution. General Mayhem Opal's version. I'm trying to look into the logistics of this. The primary limiting factor is whether or not I have the original voice recordings, or just have to use the, no offense to past me, unforgivably disgusting audio from the current videos. Either way, if/when I reapply for monetization, don't be surprised if those videos end up private for a minute. Not like they're inaccessible or anything, they still exist on Flying Salt or, James Sanity? James Sanity's channel, and will until the heat death of the universe. Speaking of death, remember Second Trial? Probably not. It's been silent for 2 years at this point. So part of the issue with Second Trial is that while I like the overall story I'm building, after looking through my plans again, I realize it's going to take probably 24 episodes to actually get to the end. And look, I've got more patience than most people realize. But 24 episodes? At this rate, I'll be done with it roughly when I'm 6 feet under. So as it's being made right now, I don't think there's much of a chance I'm ever going to finish it. If y'all want to see more of it, I'll consider keeping it going, but unless support's tremendous, it's probably cancelled for now. Let's move on from infinitely continuing projects into ones that have clear, achievable endings. Remember at the end of my I Hate 2021 video when I threw in a clip featuring this little orange ring guy? You might be wondering, whatever happened to that? So glad you asked. See, if you look at the timeline, that clip is actually connected to this odd Danganronpa-esque video where I begged the audience to recommend some characters. Full circle moment, the reason I asked for those characters was because of the development of a new, smaller scale series, Show Olympics. That's a lot of S's. In this series, 16 recommended characters compete in a set of 15 or so Olympic sports. At the end of each sport, the contestants are awarded points based on how they place, and whichever contestant has the fewest number of total points gets eliminated. Where the audience would get involved is in choosing the events. Each episode besides the first, 2 or 3 different events would go up for voting, and the one that gets the most votes is held. Because the contestants all have their own personalities and skills, they'll perform better or worse at different sports, and if the recommender wants to see their character win, they'd better vote for some sports that their character would excel at. The first episode for the series is honestly just lacking an intro in the last couple scenes, and since it's a smaller scale show that's significantly more character-based than story-based, unlike Second Trial, reaching the end of this would be legitimately possible. But there's no voice acting, which takes away from the viewing experience a tad. Staying on the topic of recommended characters, if something like Showlympic sounds a little too small scale for your tastes, might I recommend something else that I've been toying with? Introducing Next Great American Dynasty. Working title. Essentially, this show is an unholy abomination that combines Battle for Food, Big Brother, and Dance Moms into one mess. For this show, you guys will be able to suggest characters to compete a la Battle for Food, where the 18 best will go up for voting. The top 12 will enter a formal contest to compete for the glory of their dynasty. The other 6 will be cut early. From there, the contestants will compete in a bunch of challenges, and performance in those challenges will result in placement on the pyramid, circa Dance Moms. The contestants at the bottom of the pyramid will go up for voting, while whoever's at the top of the pyramid gets the power to save one person at the bottom, preventing them from going up for vote at all, similar to Big Brother. Drama! The vote will work like it did in Journal Mayhem, where viewers like you can like and dislike characters, with likes being subtracted from the dislikes, and whoever gets the lowest total wins an advantage, while the highest total gets eliminated. This better gets rid of all of the, no offense to Amoeba, boring characters. This show would be fully voice acted, most likely after an audition process so I can get some new voice actors in the mix. The recommending process would likely begin in late December if this option is chosen. Do you have to be an American to recommend somebody to Next Great American Dynasty? Absolutely not! And if you recommend a character into Showlympics, feel free to recommend them again, because if I want, I may also throw some of those characters into this new thing regardless, because some of them just need to see the light of day. Now, on to the non-viewer impacted things. I was initially going to pursue this project in book form once Town Attack the novel wraps up, but after reconsidering how it would look and taking a butcher knife to the cast list, I went in a bit of a different direction with it. Introducing Hat's Kitchen. As the name suggests, this project is billed as more of a direct parody of Hell's Kitchen, but with a healthy dose of RuPaul's Drag Race mixed in to give it that extra je ne sais quoi. For those unfamiliar, the format is the contestants are organized into 2 teams based on gender, and whichever team performs worse in the challenge has to nominate 2 people, from which the host, in this case Chef Hat, picks one to be eliminated. Of course, these eliminations are messy as all hell, what with people getting offended they're nominated, or because someone's particularly useless, or just because people want to start fights. But hey, it's entertaining. For Hat's Kitchen, the cast has been narrowed down to only 10 contestants, and would consist of just 9 episodes. This show would also be, wait for it, fully animated! It may require quite a few backgrounds to be made, but that's doable. And as for voice actors, it's audition time, BB! The last of the fully animated trio, which is so in its infancy that it doesn't even have a title, is Untitled Detective Show Thingy. This is a 6-episode, non-competition mystery series about a detective getting shipped out to a small town in West Dakota, populated primarily by fruits, tasked with aiding the local police in hunting down a serial kidnapper. Serial as in habitual, not the food. The detective in question is Passport, with his husband and son in tow, helping out a precinct populated by mostly new faces, but also Blood Orange, because she deserves to be in something. Untitled Detective Show Thingy is a short, story-focused little adventure that could at least bring something a little less competitive into the object show community. But beyond long-form shows, I've also been playing around with the idea of posting more one-off videos with actual effort put into them. For example, a video essay that delves into the absolute mess that is Disventure Camp All-Stars, or an animated video retelling the plot of American Horror Story's first season using object show characters. Or, if Shattered was a show with its life together, a fully animated version of Shattered's first episode, also known as Is Was Wilt for anybody who remembers seeing that acronym in this collage back on my channel in 2018. Speaking of revealing the purpose of images I posted ages ago with zero context, man, I am killing these transitions. Let's talk about another one that was brought up on my Discord a while ago. Anyone who thought this image had a particularly Danganronpa-esque vibe to it should first be pretty aware of what series had a death grip on my focus 3 years ago, but this time you'd actually be somewhat correct. This image teased a series I was previously working on, Sky High. While I ended up getting about 6 minutes of the first episode animated, it got cancelled partway through development, and the first challenge was repurposed into the first challenge of Second Trial. Similarly to Second Trial, the main issue with Sky High was the sheer number of episodes that would have been required. So instead of trying to make it some weird animated creature, I've instead settled on that script one day being adapted into book form, similarly to TA. That would probably be the next book-based project I would work on post-TA the novel, but that won't be for a while. On the topic of books, as much as I love competition, I've also been toying with the idea of finally breaking free from the object show community and writing an actual book with actual people as the actual subjects. But, that's just another project to add to the pile. So yeah, there's a sampling platter of the stream of nonsense I've got running through my brain at all times. In regards to what I'll turn my focus on to next, I'm going to do two things. First, I'm including a form in the description of this video where you can vote for as many of these projects you want to see as you want. After a week or so, the top 4 will be put in a community poll where the number 1 will be the first one up. And if you've got any specific feedback about any changes you may want to see on any of these projects, let me know in the comments and I can certainly try to implement them. But until next time, tally ho!